Well, hello everybody. It's David from Chatmosa, head of product here, and another episode of Chatmosa Podcasters in Training. Man, we have a full house today here on this episode of Chatmosa's Podcasters in Training, and we have real life podcasters, numerous podcasters, many podcasters. But let's go down with the team and do a shout out because the last few weeks, everybody's had a homework assignment on how to do and improve their shout out here in our podcasters in training. Go ahead, let's go down the line. Camille, you're first.
Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Hi.
That is hilarious, Camille, CEO of Chatmosa. Okay, Auntie Derek.
I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm
Head
going
of
to say,
growth.
hello, my fellow podcasters.
You.
Hello.
That's a good one. Okay, Sandra, pressure's on. CTO, who just did a power release here moments before this episode.
Oh God, they're a tough act to follow. Let me see now. I just flew in from overseas, and boy, are my arms tired. Hello, everyone.
Oh,
Sandra, you ate that. I love it. I love it.
Wow. Wow.
she nailed it, Camille. Nailed it.
Wow. I know. I know.
That's awesome. So, Camille, I'm going to toss it to you because we have some special guests today here on the podcast, don't we?
Yeah. I mean, why don't we, bring up some of the people here? Stephanie, say hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
And
Keep
then,
your Love Talk live.
nice, nice. And then we have Nish. Nish, say your hello.
Hello. Well, I didn't get the homework
The mem-
assignment. I don't know
you
if
didn't
I'm.
get the
You can
memo.
hear me. Oh, here we go. But I can say greetings and hello from West LA.
Nice.
Oh, perfect.
How's
Nice.
that?
Nish's sweet voice. You know,
Excellent.
I guess when you're starting to have a podcast, you have to come up with like, how do you start your podcast? And Lisa, we have Jessica here. I don't know if Jessica, if you want to say hello, and you're muted.
I think
Oh, maybe she had to step away. We could trim. The beauty is, David, is we can trim that part.
we are going to trim it.
So when you do record, you could kind of just have it all recording and then just trim the pieces that you want to clean up.
You don't call it trim. You call fix it in post.
All right, fix it in post.
There we go.
Right.
The
Well,
girl knows your stuff.
I right. Um,
So,
go ahead,
Camille,
Nish.
you have real quick. So, everybody that's in here, Camille has been working night and day, other than the dreaded word taxes. Although that's maybe a good thing for Stephanie. But what have you been working on, Camille, this week?
Yeah, I started it. I think I started this project last week. We've been wanting to kind of do this and improve it, and this is a team effort. David is actually kind of organized this, got this kind of going, the layout and how it should work, and um, so finally, with the help of again David and Sandra and Auntie, I wanted to just release it before this recording happens, this session happens. So let me share my screen, and this is the first release. So you guys are seeing it. You're actually the first ones to see it. Let me put this up.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
Oh, so exciting!
Right.
Cool.
So I have a podcast called Between Doctors and Friends. So you're seeing my sign in. So now, when you go to your account settings right here in the upper right, you will see we kind of moved podcast in its own, and we have this thing called my episodes. Okay. When you go to your podcast, we want to make it easy for people to you know to podcast on Chatmosa. And what we've all been doing is we just create a session, and we understand that some people get intimidated that on Chatmosa we say it's a live session. That's actually the hard part, is to have a live session. We kind of did it the other way around. We built what was difficult, and we want to say that you don't have to have a live public session to record your podcast. Um, from last episode, I mentioned that you could have a session, make it private, and record your session, and that's it. And we want to make it easy and simple. But this other piece is you could now upload episodes. And that's kind of really cool, is if you wanted to do your recording maybe on your mobile device by yourself, just talking to your mobile device, and then you'll just post it on Chatmosa later. Or perhaps you have content from the past. I'm kind of egging on David, who has really cool video content from the past. You could turn them into podcast episodes. Maybe you had a vacation or a trip, or like whatever. You could upload that episode. Okay. So we wanted to make it simple and give us feedback. Let us know if this is easy. Here you could record an episode, start an episode that really goes to the create session. I'm just gonna click on that. Yeah, the usual, that what everyone here is, the podcasters are used to. The other piece is, now this is clickable. Number 2, configure. Here is where you would upload your art, give it a description. This is what's going to be on the podcast players. And when you're done with that, this is another cool page right here. We understand that this is a friction point. So we said, you know what? Let's allow them to, maybe we'll submit it for you on your behalf. So once you have it all set up, you could request to have Chatmosa submit your podcast into these players. Okay. One thing I have to say is that on the configure page, this is something different that we changed. If you do not put your email, this will help us submit it for you, because we will put our own email, the Chatmosa email. But if you put your email, these podcast players want to confirm you're the owner of that podcast, then you will have to be the one to verify it. We won't be able to submit it for you. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, record your podcast. And we right now we're kind of going back and forth, like, what do we call it? I say, when you get into Chatmosa, just record an episode. Record 1, 2, get a feel for what is it like to record an episode. Don't get buried into or worry about number 2 and number 3. But when you kind of record and you're kind of, okay, this is how I like it. This works. Now jump into 2, configure it, and then go into number 3 and publish it. Because the best part about it is to see your podcast on the Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. And we have Stephanie here, who did her first recording this week. How did you feel about that, Stephanie?
It was great, right? It was the motivation I needed. I'll be completely honest, to have you pop in and support like you always do. And then, because I didn't have that email address there to kind of hold my hand there, like, hey, Stephanie, I made some changes, but you're live. Like, I showed my family, and they're like, my daughter has been egging me on about Love Talk Live. When I don't host, she's like, Mommy, are you doing Love Talk Live tonight?
Nice.
I shared it with a girlfriend of mine who wants to come into the space, and she's a subject matter expert. She does real estate, all these angles, right? Because tax touches everything. So it was the fuel I needed this week. And keep
Yes.
my schedule open. Like I'm finally at a place in the tax season where Wednesday and Thursdays can be free so that I show up consistently because I tell you, from the time I had that live demo and you showed me this tool, and David came in to help me, like, hey, get your audio together there. You forgot to share something. I don't know, whatever that was that time. This is it's amazing what you can do in Chatmosa.
Yes.
I looked, I was around, like, okay, I'll go over here, and nothing that I looked to had all the tools in one spot. It's extremely easy. I'm stoked for Jessica that's here. She's an amazing creator. She has a passion like I to educate and empower women and share the things. So please know that yes, from the mountaintops, Love Talk Live and Tax Talk, and it also today made me say, you know what? You don't know how big this may go. I went ahead and hey, Love Talk Live is now my domain. I own it.
Oh
I purchased
wow.
it. Like,
Yay!
yeah, do the thing. Like
Wow.
I was kind of playing around with it, but I've been on X with it a couple years, a year and a half or so. I tell
Mm.
you, when you share that link and I got the message today and I'm getting alerts of like you're on iHeart and you're on Apple Podcasts and you're
Mhm.
on Spotify. Let's go, Derek, Auntie. Hey,
Hey, boo.
Yes.
hi.
Is
Like
it
I
a good
can't wait till
feeling?
12. I'm working on it. I'm working on it to be there to fully support you. But no, like my first session back in January when you and your crew and who support you showed up. I love it. I love you all. I thank you. It's wings when we sometimes not a whole lot of like self doubt, but I do sometimes get we have other obligations, but I love it here and
Yeah.
I vow to grow and continue in podcasters and training. Thank you
Yeah.
for your continued support. I'm done speaking.
Oh, thank you, Stephanie. I mean, like, we're, you know, Chatmosa was, inspired by our experience on X space, no, Twitter Spaces. It
Hmm.
was right, Auntie, and we're not here to stop you from having Twitter Spaces. We're not here to stop you from being on TikTok or Instagram. We're here to actually enhance that experience. And Stephanie and I have talked about this. I talked to Auntie and I talk about this. When you're in spaces, it's great because you really get exposure to that platform. But then bring it here, create your 15-minute or 30-minute, or if you're like Auntie, 2 hours, you know, podcast, and that's your content. You have an asset. We want you to have your asset. Our goal is really to let's come up with solutions for creators. Nish has her hand up.
Oh, yes. I do have a question on how the interface works now for the normal, like creating a podcast on Chatmosa, recording it, and then it uh, goes live. Like before, I would do it, and then I would approve that. After I watched the video, then I would approve for it to be published. But now I have to click
No,
publisher and say I want Chatmosta to publish my podcast
no.
and
Oh,
not put
great.
in my email. Is
Yeah,
that
great
it?
question. Great question, Nish. The
Yeah.
configure and the auto publish. You just do this once. You just do. You configure your podcast. This is what my podcast is. Auto
Okay.
publish is like, hey, every time I record or post my my episode or my session on Chatmosa, I want you to automatically publish it to these
Oh, I see.
publisher.
So I don't have to do this.
Yes.
I don't have to do this 1, 2, 3 every single time
No.
I make one.
Yeah.
I'm I'm just gonna go through this scenario once to give the instructions, and then you're gonna still just put everything up on all of those platforms.
Yes.
Okay, so
100%.
I just have to go in and
I think
um
Nish, and Nish has a podcast, Nish Podcast. So I'm going to nishpodcast.com. and
Yes,
she
send
has
it,
it
Niche
with,
with
Camille.
niches, one of my favorites.
Mhm.
right. Nish is Nish.
No.
So you already have you're good to go, Nish.
Oh, I don't have to reconfigure
Yeah,
because that is a different screen, girl.
yeah, yeah. You just you just put your links here, and for those that
Mhm.
are new, um, you know what we said. Why are people signing up for Linktree? We're like, ah, let's give them a Linktree. So you get a web page, you get a link tree, and what Nish
Mhm.
did is, under her links, she said, "Hey, listen to me on Pandora, listen to me on Apple." And again, you could name it however you want to name it. On my podcast, let me see here, my profile page.
Another
Um,
one of my favorites.
thank you. You know what I did was the very first link is my domain, so
Oh.
that people know this and the engines know it, and it goes to my profile page, and then I'll put
Mhm.
here, where it's been auto published,
Where you can see
and
it.
then I have like two new accounts on Blue Sky and Instagram, and you could follow me here, and you could call it whatever you want to call it, right? So
Oh, I see. So the links, because you have follow us on Instagram.
yes,
So that is just to have someone go to your Instagram page and click follow. It's not
yeah, you could- you
your thing goes up there.
yeah, you could call it whatever. Buy me
Oh, okay.
coffee, go to works my website, y- you know.
Yeah, for example, Niche, I actually have on my page, there's a app called Atmosphere. And what Atmosphere
Mm.
it's a like new type of app. It's almost like Instagram, but for nightclubs or restaurants, and where you just record
Oh,
your content. So I was actually one of the early users of that, and I get paid for referrals for that app. So I actually have my Atmosphere link on there,
oh,
so you can put whatever you want
nice.
on
All
your
right.
page.
Whatever, you could have a hundred.
Send it to me, Derek.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna play around with that. And can I move them around? Can't remember what you told me before, like to
Resort,
order
yeah.
how the links appear, so you
So
can turn
what,
move them up and down,
you
back
know
and
what,
forth.
we kind of like we haven't done the auto like click and drag sort, but you can what I do is I'll keep adding,
Okay.
and then I'll move this down here. It's a little bit of a hassle,
Oh, I see.
but
And
then
then once
you
it's
know
reordered, then you could take out the ones like uh, a duplicate
yeah,
and make your
yeah,
thing.
I'll bring
Okay.
it
Okay.
down. I'll cut,
Okay.
cut cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste. you
Okay.
know but it
All right.
because again we submit this to engines,
Uh huh.
not just your search engine, but your AI engines, so
Mm-hmm.
that your links also show up on top.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
so let me go back to the podcast. So here,
Okay.
this is for anyone in the podcaster plan. You will now have access to this podcast link. um, you could record a session, you could upload an episode, and here coming soon, because this is a different project, you could import your existing podcast, because with Chatmosa, what people don't realize is, um, we host your
Mm-hmm.
audio video files, right? So let me
Right.
go to upload. So you would just add your title here. Ooh, let me try this. Okay, next. This is the different screen. Upload your MP3 or MP4, meaning your audio or your video.
Okay.
So that's if you pre-recorded. We're
And you
helping.
don't get any like thumbnail or anything,
Uh,
or it pulls it from the like if I recorded like something right now, like well, I have TikTok
mhm,
videos, and I
mhm.
could maybe, and I have them saved on my computer, so I could maybe put them up on Chatmosa. Well,
That's a great
is it
idea.
gonna make a? Is it gonna make a thumbnail or something?
No.
Or
What
no?
happens here is when you upload that file, it'll run a
Yeah.
process. And I
Okay.
can't do it right now because I don't have a sample. And then it will send you to a page that looks like edit that you guys are familiar with,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
I'm just gonna go here. Oh, here's my sample. Sorry, let me. Nothing worse than when someone's doing a how-to and they're going all over the place.
Well, that tends to happen when you build a site from scratch. I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean,
Right? I'm like, you lost me already. But
we
after you
don't
up,
expect you to be Steve Jobs,
right,
with the slides behind you and a big
right.
dramatic performance. No.
So
You're
what
missing the turtleneck.
with the turtleneck? So after you upload your file, it sends you to this page.
Oh, okay. All
And
right.
for the podcasters already in Chatmosa, you're familiar with this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, no, I think it sends you to this page, this edit page. And here's where you would
Okay.
like change the photo. You may want to,
Or you can put a photo in there.
yep. Now,
Okay.
what's new here is our topic. Auntie, this is new.
Let me
Okay.
see.
Oh, you cannot see this on um, a screen share. But here's where you could actually select parent, multiple topics in a different way. It's a drop down, which I can't
Okay.
show you here. Um, but anyway, everything else the same. And
Oh.
you also have access to your power tools now, where you could maybe trim it a little bit. Or the
Mm-hmm.
best part is the media clipper.
Mm.
And I don't have a media clip, nothing available because I didn't upload anything. Um, Stephanie, Stephanie's got a lot of good one liners, three liners. Nish too. Auntie, Auntie, share with them how you use Media Clipper and how powerful that is.
Let me tell y'all, Media Clipper is my best friend. Has been my best friend for a very long, ever since it was introduced. Like because
Mm.
before, I learned when doing the podcast, one of the best ways to get attention for your podcast is to clip it. To have look because people like to see 90 seconds or less of what you've been talking about on your podcast. That is absolutely true in my case because I've saw that clipping the show made my YouTube grow, my TikTok grow, and my Instagram grow.
Oh
And
yeah,
what
I
you
I like to watch your clips
uh,
actually
thank
because
you.
you give me the meat right there. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
All right.
Nice.
I don't need the appetizer. I want the meat.
just go
Nice.
straight to the point, get straight to the meat, the entree.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
There
Okay.
you go.
But
So,
and Facebook and Meta has noticed those clips, and that's when I've been invited to programs and such. But what used to take me hours now only takes me minutes with that clip. I was actually able to, for today's show. I just made 6 clips before we started podcasts and training.
No
So, and
way.
I have them ready to go out. Once we're done with this. But
Hmm.
baby, that media clipper is my bestie. I love it, love it, love it.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
I
so
have
can
to
you
use.
a little bit of context here? How long is the long form, as in the raw video that you took the clip from?
The long form, so for today's, it's close to 2 hours. So I want to say it's like an hour and 57 minutes and
oof.
change or so. So yeah, so that mean and I've already taken 6 clips from that, but I have so much more content to clip and share if I want from that 2 hours worth of content that I have. But
Hmm.
I do my show on a daily basis, so that's why I have so many clips on my other profiles.
Yeah. So when you make the clip, tag it to, as well. Um,
Hmm.
I have to say that for my podcast, it's doctors and friends and not as exciting as aunties. Um, that's the content I would use on, you know, my social media profile.
Hmm. Hmm.
The podcast that I created becomes the content that I use, these clips. And with that clip, it's what actually people like for the doctors and friends. I followed a bunch of doctors, and then they
Hmm.
follow back. And it's how I grow that, the community for it. and also med students. And I think last week's show we talked about doctors and vets, veterinarians. So your clips are your your short content. That's what you would post to X and Blue Sky and YouTube, YouTube and Facebook, because we find that people just have short attention span. Plus those clips go into the reels. So even if they're not following you, it shows up for them because it's a short clip, it's a good clip,
Mm-hmm.
and probably be relevant. So let me go back to like our exciting pieces that's new.
Okay.
The other piece that's new here is which I showed you before. So not only we kind of trying to streamline this, podcast. David and I were kind of going back and forth, and you guys tell us like the start recording makes sense, right? But what's new here is we have now a section called My Episodes. This will now list all the episodes that you host or you've been invited to co-host. We will later have a section here for shows that you've attended. Up here it's just basically filters that, like kind of a quick filter. What are my upcoming shows? What's going on that's live right now and the past. Which shows did I host and which shows did was I a co-host? Okay. And then the same thing, like, hey, which shows did I record as audio or which shows did I record as a video? Okay. So it's kind of a cool thing. I know it's um you look at it, you're like, okay, it's just a list. But it's a big deal for us because we want to make it easy for you to be able to post your podcast. Hold on, I have a dog here.
Yeah, and what I was noticing, Camille, was that I was just assuming there'd be a normal podcast list of my recordings and like an ugly kind of a table-ish thing. But then I realized, oh, look at the filters on top of that makes complete sense. I've got like a recording, tells me which one was recorded that I can use an episode, which one was just kind of like a live session we didn't record, and what my role was, which is huge.
Yeah, yeah. And then you can do a quick search. We just wanted like an easy way. I mean, look at this. This is a podcast that I don't really have a lot of episode, but oh wow, I didn't realize actually have a lot of episodes,
Mhm.
that I could kind of go through. So again, what we released is to give our users, um, our podcast plan members, the ability to easily record their podcasts on the Chatmosa website in a browser using whatever device. Um, at the same time, if they already have content from the past, that they could just upload that. That's an episode. And then later on, if you're already podcasting on other major platforms and you're telling yourself, my gosh, I've got to find a way to cut my costs and, bring down my expense, you come onto Chatmosa and you could just import um, all that content.
And get you a mailing list. What?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Auntie. I think, and then, we could kind of go through this. For those of you that link your Chatmosa profile with Stripe, the minutes, it takes time because, actually Stripe like looks over your application. And this is not just for podcaster plan members. Okay. Any users on Chatmosa, if you're not podcasting, you don't want to host a show, you can still link your account to Stripe. That gives you the ability to have products for non podcaster plan members. You will unlock tips. You could turn this on. You could call it whatever you want to call it. Change the description. Give it the pricing. Um, we give you a template. We give you pre-created template. It's just up to you to activate them. For podcaster plan members, you get a subscription plan, and that's a mailing list. Like we call it free subscription. I should call this mailing list. And you could change the description, whatever, and have a mailing list. So when you go to your profile page, you get this subscribe and tip piece, and that will show up whenever you do a live session. It will show up on, on the chat window. I don't think our Chatmosa account has that.
Oh,
But we don't want to overwhelm you with what you can do. Um, First and foremost, we just want to find a way to simplify, your podcasting journey. And that's really going to, click on your avatar, go to account settings, go to podcasts. You'll see this in the homepage once we're comfortable with this.
that's
It.
awesome, Camille. Auntie Derek, I was waiting for your clapping sound effects.
Let's get it.
Let's hit. There we go. Big bow, Camille.
As a frequent user of this platform, in my head I was thinking it's already easy. So how is she going to make it any easier? And you just shut me up. So
there you go.
I'm even thinking like, I'm gonna be with my doctor friends, in person. So I'm thinking, we could just record, the way other podcasters would do it on my phone, sitting in the same room, passing passing the phone around, and I'll just upload it.
You don't have headsets and microphones like we see online with everybody, do you? You're just going to pass the phone around.
Yeah,
That's
right?
awesome. I think it's a new way.
I mean, we have a podcaster here that has some pretty good content that he's produced in the past. Maybe sitting on, either his Substack or YouTube, and I'm just like, repurpose that content, like upload it. That's a podcast episode.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I mean, I upload stuff to Vimeo with all kind of my old videotapes from past life and news, and I could just kind of share my screen or even directly upload it. I didn't really thought of like normally, you'd share it on the Jumbotron and we'd all watch it together, right?
Yeah.
But you're saying you just take the file, audio, video, and upload it to your podcast once you set it up.
Yeah, because then all that stuff even shows up on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. I mean, what's interesting is what Amazon's doing. Your stuff shows up on Amazon.com. In fact, that's kind of wild.
You should be selling merch.
That's an amazing.
We are selling merch. If you go to Amazon.com, if you go to Amazon.com and look up Chatmosa, not only do you see Chatmosa merch, but you actually see this podcast in training podcast, which is wild. And that's how powerful I think this is. I look forward to, like Nish already has her stuff. Nish, you'll probably see that on Amazon as well. And Stephanie and future podcasters here in Chatmosa, that you have content. You've been doing it on social media, and the social media algorithms make them disappear after 24 hours, or unless no one follows you, unless they follow you. But the algorithms kind of like make that content disappear. So you might as well turn that into a podcast.
Yeah, I didn't think about this. Here's my video there, Camille, from old school.
Look at that.
Gen Z, you wouldn't know, but I think Frank wouldn't be too happy seeing this from KTLA, Frank. But
my God, he looks like he's in high school.
I know, isn't that funny? Anybody that's in the LA area will recognize Frank Buckley, who's a great guy.
My God.
I used to be his cameraman before he was a big star like that at KTLA. But yeah, I didn't even think about it. I could take these videos and then upload them. So that's a fabulous idea. Thanks to Camille. That's awesome. Stephanie, I just wanted to get you never really reacted. I wanted to get your feeling when you went to Spotify, when you went to iTunes, and seeing your show, your podcast on iTunes. What was your reaction, Steph? Oh, something. Oh, let me just pop. Let me move. It's got moved down to listener side of things here. But yeah, I was really excited when I went on iTunes after the show, right, Stephanie? And I saw your podcast on iTunes. It was amazing. I know, it was exciting. And then Auntie, I went through and looked at your TikTok, which was fabulous too. It's interesting what is actually working on your TikTok, on your TikTok account, right?
Yeah, it's really interesting because the thing is, I actually have like no plan of I just take if I know like for instance, Britney Spears, I knew she was a hot
Brittany,
topic
come
in
on.
the but anyone else, like I just like clip anything about any celebrity and just put it out there. You never know who's gonna look at what. Like there was one rapper, Baby Smooth, who I have no idea of who he is, nor have I heard his music, but there was a story about him. I did the story and the TikTok itself, the clip got 28,000 views. So
Wow.
like,
Wow.
so it's just like, do I have like a method? No. It's just I clip it and put it out there. And I have so
Wow.
much fun with the clipper. So
Yeah, the clipper, we're gonna improve the way it looks. We're gonna give it some instructions. The clipper is you select from your transcription and it turns into a clip.
Yeah.
What I
Yeah, that's
do,
amazing.
what I actually do is I'll clean up the typos first and then I select.
Oh, that's an interesting technique.
Yeah.
And what's cool, you don't it can do video and or audio, right? So if you're just doing audio, you can still edit that, which is great, and a text-based editing.
Yeah. Yeah. What's really, with this whole upload your content, you know, turning your old content into clips is kind of interesting.
Yeah. It's
You
like the
know,
new way to share it with all your friends, right?
right? So David, like that your cool content from like the 90s, 80s, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I know,
So
I have to think about that. Absolutely. All right. So, what else did we have? Anybody? With this big release, Camille, Sandra. That's like a big, big milestone that I'm really super excited about. What else is everybody working on here? And then also having Stephanie joining in on the Chatmosa family, having you with your show, and then of course Nish. That's awesome.
yeah, I have some I have some request tickets. We're going to improve, provide you with what you're used to. Have some video backgrounds, filters. So
Ooh,
if you wanted to put um, your camera feed on the jumbotron, or even on here in the avatar, that you could have some, just simple blur background. And really for us is, to support, our focus at this initial phase of this product is really to help and empower underrepresented um, would-be podcasters, underrepresented creators. And, with that, it's to provide, filters for their camera feed.
yeah.
And I know that I have this headache of, like, I'm sure David, you go through this, assigning a co-host before the show starts.
Yes, very important to be able to, assign them, send them the invites, reminder. That
Yeah,
would be super awesome.
yeah,
Be very helpful. Yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit, but we're just glad everybody's starting, using it. Auntie Derek, Camille, you're using it. Nish, Stephanie, everybody's using that. I'm using it and kind of learning as we go and building in public, which is the key here because, the feedback is super important. So I just wanted to thank everybody. All right, I think that's going to bring this episode of Podcasters in Training here to
Yes,
a
and just really quick,
close.
David,
Go
before we close
ahead.
out, I just
Yeah.
wanted to tell the people and announce here that starting Wednesday, March 11th, we will be doing so. I will be running what we will call the Podcasters in Training Extra Credit. So really, just just
Oh,
like
there
a
we
laid
go.
back version of this, but it's going to be instead of the afternoon, I'm going to host it at night. So it'll be 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Just for those who can't make it now on a Friday, but see if they want to come out Wednesday at a later time, just to get more support for people who can't make today. Just want to be here to support those people as well.
That's great. Yeah, maybe you could kind of Stephanie, you could join in and merge podcasters in training with love talk with doctors between doctors and friends and Nish's niche.
At 9 o'clock, oh, Stephanie's going to be doing taxes.
Yeah.
Ah,
Do not bug Stephanie until
I
April
know.
15.
I just
Right.
jumped on the shower because y'all summoned me to speak, but I'm for it. I'm for
We
it. A Wednesday night happens. We gonna
uh,
make it happen. I'm there. I'm
there.
committed, and I know like okay, I'm gonna learn so much from you. Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, I
Let's
gotta go
go.
back.
All
You
right,
go.
back to
Bye,
I
taxes.
appreciate
Stephanie.
you
Have
so
a
Bye,
good
much.
everybody.
weekend.
Awesome.
Camille, back to your tax. Thanks,
Well,
everybody. Oh yeah.
Nish, how are you doing?
Oh
How's your
yeah.
podcast going, Nish?
Well, it's going okay, but it's like for me to find because I have like a lot of projects going right now to keep getting new podcasts out there. But now that you have these new features, possibly I can just put up some content I've made in the past, a video I've made in the past, and put it up and just make that a podcast now. Um, and also because of the new features, like I could just quickly on my phone just record something without going through the whole thing on Chatmosa
Hmm.
and then upload that
Yeah. Yeah.
video,
Yeah.
because sometimes it's like, okay, right now in my head, I have to say this, to tell people, all right, like, don't go crazy because this is too much right
Yeah.
now.
So yeah, I mean we this new feature we have we hope to really fulfill those that just want to do it live and just do it, especially those with a community, while
Mhm.
they're creating content together as a group,
Mhm.
as well as the kind of the post, right? I created content and now I want to podcast it, and podcast is changing,
Uh-huh.
um, and when people ask me, why podcasts, and it's really like it gets you into the players, the different devices. So for
Mhm.
example, I can't see your IG or TikTok from my car or my
Right.
watch, or the different devices, but
Mhm.
I could do that with a podcast.
Right.
And
Good.
so definitely, we'd like to keep it open, and um really we also want to get, there's so many voices for us that are from underrepresented communities, so many stories. Even we have here, um not to blow out his cover, but like Hammy here, that's quiet. i'm sure he, I'm sure he's got so much good content, but Hammy never gets on the mic. But that's it for this week.
All
A
right.
big
Well,
week.
thank you. That was a great that was a great presentation.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you, Camille, Sandra, for the big release and the features on the step-by-step podcast process. Thank you, Auntie Derek, for show and tell on your side of thing on the clips. Thank you, Nish, for your questions and feedback. I think we have a feature request here, Camille, from Nish.
Yeah, what is
Thank
it?
you,
What is it?
Stephanie. It's the one I brought up right before the episode here was that if you're already created your podcast, you don't have to kind of go through the step-by-step process
Oh yeah.
to go through again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stephanie. Go back to taxes. Thank you, Hammy.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right.
I'll see you next Friday. We're here, right? Next Friday?
We're here.
No,
We're
Derek,
here.
Wednesday. Wednesday,
All right.
9 p.m.
Nice.
Nice. 10.99. See ya.
Okay.
Bye,
Good
everybody.
night.
Bye.
Do not